Michael Nagy here with Jiggy Jag TV and DiscoveringBands.com. And for everyone watching right now, if you can share this video on my channel and help support the awesome bands I feature. And today, I'm here with Ascension of The Watchers. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks, Michael.
It's good to have you. So do you want to start off by giving us a little brief history about the band?
Well, sure. Ascension of the Watchers started right here in this studio, in my studio, in 2002. Burton C. Bell from Fear Factory conceptualized the idea, and we were on tour. I played in Fear Factory for many years, played keyboards with Fear Factory for many years, and I'm here in Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania, where I'm based, and Fear Factory was on tour, on the Digimortal tour in 2001, and rarely do we really get into this central Pennsylvania region on national tours. Usually Philadelphia, Pittsburgh are about the only Pennsylvania dates, and often my friends here would say, oh, when are you going to play around here, so surprisingly enough, on the Digimortal tour, we were playing Scranton, which is actually still 2 hours from here, but it's closer than Philly and it's closer than Pittsburgh, and we actually had a day off, which is even more unusual. In the Northeast, typically, you're playing a different city every night. So yeah, we had a day off in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and so I was like, look, let's go to my house. It's not that far. So we rented a car on the day off, and Burton, Christian, and some of the crew guys came down here, and I introduced them to the area. But Burton especially, I live in the woods. It's a 13-acre property. The studio here is on the property, separate from the house, and we did like a cookout. Had like a campfire going, and a lot of the LA guys were kind of like, yeah, we don't really get it, but Burton was like, yeah, I get it. I understand why you live here. It's beautiful, and you have an amazing studio. And he said, I'd like to come record here after the tour. So I said, sure. I wasn't even sure it would really happen, but sure enough, after the tour, he drove cross country in his '69 Ford pickup truck and showed up here, and so we came down to the studio, and I thought that he would have like some sort of Porta studio he'd whip out and have like these demo songs, and but no, there was none of that. He had a guitar, an electric guitar, and like a multi-effect pedal that he was using for delay, and he just set up and started to play. And I had never even heard Burton play guitar, and so I had been expecting it to sound something obviously like Fear Factory, but I realized right away that it was very different. And so yes, it was very kind of mesmerizing. These guitar lines, very basic, but they would kind of repeat and echo, and I started to hear keyboard ideas, and started to record his guitar parts, and then we added some rhythms and loops and things, and at that time, throughout the 90s, I'd been playing in these really heavy bands, doing mostly sampling and some keyboards, but not really being able to fully take advantage of all these wonderful vintage synthesizers that I have. And throughout the 80s, I was more into electronic music. I do play guitar as well, but so this was a chance for him and I to kind of try to find some common ground. We were both into say Joy Division and early Cure and bands like that, and so Yeah, we started writing, and over several years wrote the first album, working here in my studio. At the same time, as you know, I have my own band, False Icons. It started up really officially at the same time, at that same year, even though we'd been kind of putting some stuff together. That's when it really kind of became official, and so. We were working side by side with False Icons and The Watchers, and eventually did do another Fear Factory tour and album called Archetype. And then I parted ways with Fear Factory, started to work more on False Icons and dedicate more time to that. And then I got offered ministry about a year later, and as you know, I've been with ministry now 14 years. So all of this stuff has to kind of work into the schedule. And Burton was also involved with ministry on 2 different albums and toured with us on 2 different albums. And so Al Jorgensen signed both False Icons and Ascension of the Watchers and produced the albums. We mixed them in El Paso, where he was living at the time, and they both came out the same year in 2008. And now here we are. All these years later, Burton had been, putting together new material, and I'm putting together new False Icons material. And of course, I don't know if I mentioned to you, I have like my own solo project, which I'm doing. So anyway, yeah, Burton came back here over recent years, and he and I started, collaborating on new material. And we did a song with Mark Thwaite, who plays with the Mission, and Peter Murphy, and Gary Newman, and also now we're working with Jace Lewis, who played drums and produced this new album. He's a solo artist from the UK, lives in Wales. He has his own studio called Northstone Studios, and that's where the new Ascension of the Watchers album, Apocrypha, was mixed and finished, and my tracks were done here and sent over there. And Jace is an amazing guy, really talented songwriter, producer, and he had a vision for this album that exceeded our expectations, and it was a long time coming. Burton had initially started the pledge campaign for the Watchers. At that time, the album was going to be called Storm Crow. There is a song called Storm Crow on the album, but he ultimately, eventually, in the end, with one of the other songs, Apocrypha, felt that was more of the title track. And right about the time that our pledge campaign happened, they went bankrupt, and so we got stuck in that whole mess. And we've been trying to figure out how we're going to move forward from that. We managed to finish the album, and I don't know if you've seen any of the posts yet, but we've now announced signing with Discord Records, a worldwide deal, and also that we will be able to fulfill and honor the pledge for everyone who pledged will get a digital download, and also anyone who pledged for the vinyl and the CD. A lot of the other pledge items were honored. Some of the other things are still yet to be determined, but we're doing our best to try to remedy that situation. And this album at one point was supposed to come out last spring, and here we are. Looking at the following year into the fall, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. But like I said, the album has exceeded even our expectations, and Jace Lewis did an amazing job. Burton did an amazing job. I also have really come a long way with my skills, and so this is going to be a really, really exciting album.
Awesome. Now, can you give us a little details about the album and the themes? Because I know your music has a lot of spiritual vibes, good energy, and stuff like that. So can you tell us a little about the album?
Well, I mean, Burton is the kind of brainchild, so to speak, and visionary. I, just kind of, I hear the music that he brings me, and then I hear ideas and melodies and sounds, and that's how I work. And like I said, we work together. But yeah, I mean, as far as the lyrics and the conceptual ideas, that's Burton's department. But I do feel that I bring a lot of atmosphere and melody and those types of qualities to the music, and that we have a certain chemistry that we've developed over the years. And so yeah, this is definitely Ascension of the Watchers, but yet I think it's gone to a whole new level in sonic production and sounds, the sound of the album and the vision of the album. So yeah, I mean, it's really exciting.
And how long have you been working on this album for?
Well, technically, I guess off and on. I mean, not all the time, but some of the early ideas and demos from this album probably date back a good 10 years. At that time, we were just working on new material. We had no kind of idea of when it might be finished or come out, but we were working on new material. And then Burton, after meeting, joining up with Jace, kind of had this kind of end game of making this thing a reality and getting it done. And like I said, the pledge campaign made things a little more complicated, but here we are, finally, announcing the actual release and the deal. And so yeah, it's been a long time, but sometimes that's how it goes. We all do many different things, I mean, I do, like I said, do ministry, false icons, my solo work. I also produce, and so ministry has been very active over the last 5 years on tour and making records. So you just have to kind of work these things out with everybody's schedules. Of course, I'm doing nukes now. Tomorrow night we'll be doing a live chat. Release some of the first songs for that. Chris Connolly sings on it. We've got a lot of collaborators. So yeah, I mean, just more things happening than I can even keep track of. But it's just an amazing time, and so many amazing things are happening. It's great.
Yeah, it's amazing all that you do. Now, when we can have live music again, do you think we'll see Ascension of the Watcher tour?
I would imagine, yeah. I mean, like, we're all waiting to see what's going to happen, but we've talked about the idea of doing some shows, but nothing, of course, has been solidified. But I'm sure that that's something that we would love to do.
Now, if people want to find you online, look you up, find your music on social media, how do they do that?
Well, I'm on Facebook, John Bechdel. I also have Instagram. I have a Wikipedia page that's going to be overhauled real soon. And I'm on Reverb Nation, both for False Icons and for my solo project, John Bechdel. So yeah, plenty of ways to find me and what I'm up to. And also Ascension of the Watchers has Facebook and Instagram ministry as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was good having you and talk with you, and everyone look them up.
All right, Michael. Thank you. Thanks so much. Once again, great working with you.
Thank you.